Got money still chasing the mill. Wasn't lucky, I've been in the field. Got money still chasing the mill. Wasn't lucky, I've been in the field.
Yo, what's going on? This is NFL Radio 91.3 FM WVKR. This is your boy Rapz. I got Erin Boogie with me.
Yeah,
I like how we reversed the intro there.
Yeah,
What's
I
going
like
on?
doing that. I like switching it up.
For sure. How was your weekend?
It was hot.
Warm, 80-something degree nights?
Yeah, it felt like the tropics.
Nah, it definitely does. But I like it. I was just telling you before we got on the air, I feel like some of the most memorable nights are warm nights. I don't know.
I'm a winter baby.
You like to be out, you know what I mean? Like in the winter, I feel like you don't leave the house enough.
I'm a winter baby, so I melt in the summer. I was trying to stay home and do yard work like the whole weekend, but of course that didn't happen for me. So, I got to my weekly Rich and Jig visit in.
I was going to say, you was out at a video shoot this weekend?
I was at a video shoot this weekend, so new videos on the way.
No, for sure. I was DJing Friday night at Casa Mexico in Hopewell Junction.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little spot over there. Shout out to everybody. The staff is great. So a lot of the murals on the wall are like hand painted. So
how's the food?
I didn't eat there.
Oh,
yeah, I was on the clock. But the drinks were on point. I must say.
Margaritas? You had the margaritas?
Yeah, I had 2 margaritas. I had a strawberry one at first, and then I had just a classic. I like a classic margarita. I don't do nothing too crazy when it comes to drinking.
I like the what was it? The coconut margarita.
They had coconut. You should try the mango. We got passion fruit. They had a whole bunch of things.
Sounds like we need to take a in the field trip.
Yeah, I actually like the name of that a lot too.
We haven't had an in the field trip in a while, so I'm down for margaritas.
Nah, that's a fact. And we still got to check out Jollof out in Middleton.
Yes, absolutely.
Schedule it sometime. So what you got? Hot news week, I feel like. A little bit more action. We got a Cardi B drop.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, outside, right on time.
Yeah, absolutely right on time.
For the warm nights.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
See?
Don't call her dumb.
Yeah, right on time. The subject matter obviously taking a lot of what you could perceive to be his aim at, Offset, him fumbling the bag, as some might say.
Yeah, shout out to Party and SwanQo.
For sure. Big record. We could only assume, not that we know anything, but we could only assume that there's more music to follow. We've been itching. We've been needing these Cardi B drops. Before it was a very feature heavy. Like where she was just running around giving everybody a little bit of a feature.
Yes.
Especially the young and upcoming women, which I always thought was dope.
I love the way that she collaborates.
But now that we're getting the solo work.
Well, I think this is going to be the lead up to her album. So I think.
The long awaited.
Yes. And I think that this was the perfect record for her to drop because people are feeling it. Like you said, it's perfect for the summertime. We outside with it, right? So.
And SwanQo always got that bounce
yes.
to his stuff too.
And it's that perceived Offset diss. So I think this was the perfect record for her to drop.
Talking about messing with the ball players.
Yeah.
Yeah, she not holding back.
At all.
And we talk about, obviously a lot of the hip hop beefs that have gone on in the past year or so. And, even more recently with like the Joey, the Reason and a lot of the TDE drama and whatnot. But getting dissed by your baby mom's got to hit a little different.
Especially, so Offset dropped a record.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even check that out. What's the name of that?
You're putting me on the spot.
Exactly.
Because I did check it out. Honestly, don't remember it. So.
Was he shooting back or it was just like
it was featuring somebody. Man, I listened to it in preparation for this conversation and yikes, Offset.
I'm not a big Offset fan like that.
No, me neither. It's called Bodies, featuring JID.
Okay. I got to check that out because I don't know how I would imagine those two together.
Yeah, that's...
does Offset step it up? Does JID...
No, I didn't listen to the whole thing.
I
didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to the beginning of it. And I'll be...
And you hit skip.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
be
be real.
honest.
Let's be real. We don't got time for this.
It came out on the 20th. So
Same day as Cardi.
it doesn't stick out for me. I listened to like a bunch of things that came out on Friday, and to be honest, I can't remember.
So the only thing I hope for future Cardi music is that we don't get more of this, like the doubling down, triple down, quadruple down of like, I'm gonna get at my baby daddy. Like,
Right? It's been how many
that's
years?
what I'm saying. You've lived so much. You've had so many experiences.
I
not even good or bad, but like you've traveled places.
You've had children. You've been married. You've been divorced. Like I want to hear the gamut of your experiences.
There you go. Obviously, it could always still be relatable music, but you know, we want it to reflect the life you've been living the past month you've had.
I agree with you.
That's it. Other artists dissing. I actually forgot. I didn't put this on the list for the night, but Pusha T on So Be It, getting at Travis Scott. Very light jabs in the scope of what Pusha T is capable of. We could definitely say. But do you figure Travis Scott being the style of artist to even be responding or going back and forth?
No.
Like he's always right next to it because he played a role in the Kendrick versus Drake and the Future and wanting to run that record beforehand. Pusha T's gripe is that he came by playing one of the records that he had with Drake off of his last project, where Drake had the lines of melting down Pharrell's chains and you know, kind of dissing Pharrell and whatnot, but that wasn't the version that he played when he pulled up to the studio unannounced to say, stop everything y'all doing and listen to this.
I just don't I can't see Travis Scott being the type of artist to respond to that, and I can't see that being a good matchup.
Not at all.
Like I see that being like Pusha T getting in his jabs and it being what it is.
Yeah, because Travis Scott's style is much more sonic than bar heavy.
Yeah. Like what would and I, to be honest, that's not really something I would even really want to see Travis attempt.
Yeah, I won't be tapping in for that.
No, it just doesn't make sense for him. I think Travis knows that, right? Like I think that's not his style. It's not like I can't see him being like, man, let me get in the studio and dish Pusha T today.
Yeah, I think the only thing you could do, if not answer back, is just pretend that it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think he'll ignore it.
A lot of people saying that they're not within the same realm. How do you call this? Accolade-wise.
Yeah.
And I find that to be like a nasty thing when we compare artists now. But with things like Jim Jones coming up, him and his feelings towards where he stands versus Nas.
That was such a weird comparison. Like, why did you pick Nas of all people to compare yourself to? Because I wrote down the stats. I came prepared.
I saw the stats. It's ridiculously outweighed. And
so Jim Jones compared his catalog to Nas.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Jones has had 2 songs reach the Billboard Hot 100, one of which made the top 10.
One.
Nas has had 27 reach the Hot 100 with 2 top 10s. Jim Jones has had 3 albums chart in the Billboard 200, while Nas has had 27. 16 of Nas's albums have made the top 10, and 6 have gone number 1. It's not a comparison. So why did you, you can't name, outside of those 2 songs, which obviously it's Ballin' and Pop Champagne, you can't name a Jim Jones song. Can you name a Jim Jones song? By name.
Just any song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you listen to Jim Jones like that?
I listen to Jim Jones, not as of late, like more of his recent work, but like Diary of a Summer, On My Way to Church. Those albums in the beginning was like, that's...
Really? Because even like when Dipset was like, Mighty Mighty Dipset, like... They were, because there was a time when they like ruled New York.
I mean, even out his crew, he was never the nicest.
No.
He was the roughest and the biggest personality to where like, you'll know me, you could recognize me. I might be the most, optically, like I might get spotted first
in a video.
If we're somewhere that's not around here.
If we're at an event.
If we're traveling, if we're overseas. I just got this look to me to where like, you know, even the stuff that he wears, fashion.
Yeah,
You were one of the dudes too.
And that's where I think he messed up. If he had said cultural impact, if we had a bigger impact fashion wise, like he's got a case. He's got a
definitely
case.
See that. I did see some of his posts where he's saying, you know, these are the games you have to play. I'm laughing my way to the bank because.
But is that the PR spin?
I don't think he's got anybody advising him anything.
Really?
If we're being completely honest.
I do.
think that he notices anytime his name is in one of these types or styles of conversation, whether it's just him being compared to another artist, whether it's him doing the verses, whether they win or lose. I mean, Jim and Styles P maybe like a month or two ago as well. He stated, I know that when my names are in these conversations, my streams go up, might get more phone calls for booking. My thing is that being the age that he is, does it behoove you to play the young kids' games if you wanted to also be looked at as
not just that, like
OG or the elder statesman in hip hop if you're doing everything the kids are doing?
But he's also making the best music, arguably the best music of his career now, right? He's doing the most, like he stepped out from behind the Dipset shadow. Now people look at him as Jim Jones. So why are you saying crazy things when you don't have to? Like you should have said that 20 years ago.
You beefing with Cam is even not too, you know, we're not too distant from when that occurred.
Yeah.
So I think even that, you got out of the Dipset shadow, but I think that more so, that moment of the beef and the feud more so catapulted you out of the shadow more than maybe your musical imprint right now is doing for you. I don't know if I see like a battle or a verses or anything like that. It seems like that's kind of what he wants.
That would be that, like between him and Nas, or just like in general?
I guess, I don't know. He's comparing himself to Nas. I don't know if you...
Nas is
why you would put yourself
Yeah.
in conversations with selected people.
I don't see Nas engaging.
And for those that don't know, they definitely did beef back in the day, heavy. Yeah, I think Nas just got better things to do.
At this juncture? Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, keep on rocking with us. This is NFL Radio. Your boy Rapz, Erin Boogie. Let's get to this mix, man. Let me get to this, man.
Welcome back to In the Field Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Rapz.
Yeah, what's going on, people?
World War III, that's what. I just hope that if they're gonna blow it up, like they do it before I gotta go to work. Like don't blow it up after work. Do it before.
My big thing is like you can't talk about anything that's going on in the world or like with military without the conversation somehow resorting back to politics. So I'll just be on avoid.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that it happened yesterday. So here's the thing. And I don't know, maybe you're more tapped in than I am.
Okay.
So once that orange dude got elected, I decided that I was going full media blackout for 4 years. I just don't want to know because every day it's negativity. It's like full bombardment with some nonsense. Like our country is being run by a total.
Right? It just makes me remember this little doc that I watched over the weekend on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it, but it's based on the ex-Toronto mayor, Rob Ford. Did you watch
Oh,
this?
man, no.
So dude was like a character. I want to say he was elected from 2010 to 2014. My man was, well, basically, I don't know if like, I will bleep it, but he was smoking on video, like chilling in the States. And he's like, oh, nah, there's no video. Not that I don't smoke, but just there's not a video, believe me. Right? So he gets called out. Come to find out, the people that he's smoking with are like drug runners in America. You're a mayor from Canada. Like, you think you're just out here getting trashed at like Chicago hockey game. Like, he was just living wild. And this is obviously like pre-Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So just to see somebody like wilding out, my man was just like, yeah, I was in a drunk stupor. And he would just say like crazy things on the air, stuff that I can't even repeat. But like he'll say that on the news. He was a trip. You definitely got to watch that. Rob Ford was his name. But I also did see something else. You told me you watched this before. Is this the Karen Reed
I think I saw it on
story.
Max. I saw one on Max.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we watched it on Max. Listen, I started feeling like this is her. She did it. You know what I mean? Like, just the arguments, the type of words and verbiage she used towards him was a little out of pocket, you know. But as it goes on, you kind of see these details get uncovered. And for those that don't know, Karen Reed was married to John O'Keefe, and he was a police officer, not in Boston, but one of those outskirt towns just outside of Boston. Crazy to see that originally what we thought was his wife unaliving him.
What happened was
Go ahead. Take it away.
Well, she actually, they don't really, like, you don't really, I mean, it's one of those, like, you'll never really know what actually happened, right? Basically is that he got hit in the snow and left for dead, essentially.
That's what we're told, yes.
She was accused of doing so.
And that's what's always comes first, like whatever you're accused of.
Yeah.
And we start there.
Yeah.
But like even there's so much before that. And that's kind of what the whole, they were out at a place called the Water Hole or the Watering Hole. They were kind of bar hopping. A big group of people, they end up saying, hey, for a little after party, let's go back to so-and-so's house. Now the person whose house they're going to is a cop.
Yes.
Family cops, other cops there, as well as somebody who works for the FBI. ATF. He worked for the ATF. Now.
And they were arguing, correct?
Him and his girl were arguing. He wanted to go into the after party. Something transpired in whatever conversation they were having. She was waiting for him to walk into the door. She said he walked to the door. She peeled off. The end. He never made it home. She left voicemails cursing him out and calling him all sorts of names and you better get home, but like repeatedly calling throughout the night.
And then she went looking for him.
So she ends up going back to everybody they were partying with. Hey, get up. I still haven't seen him. He hasn't come home. They're like, he never came in. They're like, she's like, nah, that's not the case. I saw him walk up there. I was the one that dropped him off. So it's looking a little crazy.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Then so much starts uncovering of like this corrupt city and the cover-ups they do and planting of evidence and text messages and this cop
but there's like text messages from her, there's text messages from the cops, like it was like all
but then you see the people chilling with him, like one lady is Googling, you know, how long do you got to be in the cold before you die?
Yeah.
At 2 something in the morning.
Yeah.
Other people are doing, you know, just, you know, like I said, planting evidence.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole story is crazy. And I just saw that she got found not guilty on the retrial.
So the show actually covers the first trial where she was tried. I'm really not spoiling anything because it's real life, but they ended up with a mistrial. Now she goes for a retrial April of this year. I believe June 6th was the final day.
It was like real recent.
And they ended up dropping all charges except for driving under the influence. So she has a year of probation, which beats 10 to life. She is free. She doesn't have to deal with this looming over her head. My biggest takeaway while watching it was...
It says she descended the steps on Wednesday. So she was let out on Wednesday.
They almost captured this and displayed it to you like she kind of lacked remorse.
Yes.
But then come episode like 4 or 5, you start seeing that like this turned into like, let's get justice for him, which she also wanted. But it turned into almost making sure that she was getting justice for herself.
I was going to say the trial kind of became a zoo. Like she had all these like really like rabid supporters that were out there. They were showing up to the courthouse. She had people that they also kind of got famous off the trial because of how fervently they were supporting her and covering the trial. It kind of became like a thing.
It was a spectacle out there.
Well, we could segue into Diddy's trial. That's a good. We could keep it all in the family.
Is that I see what you did there. All in the family. All right, so what we got? Last week I know we did have the juror.
Well, it's wrapping up this week, they think.
They think by Thursday that
I feel like that went fast.
It did and it didn't. There was a replacement of a juror last week. They had to replace the juror. I think it was something in regards to like not keeping their address valid. Another juror later in the week have to call out because they were dealing with like vertigo or something like that. But yeah, coming so close to the end, I don't know where we see this ending. I still feel like there hasn't been enough talk to the criminality aspect as much as they've just been outing him as being like
a bad dude,
kinky freak man.
From what I was reading today in preparation for this conversation, it seems like they're going to get more into that leading up to the closing arguments before they rest. So maybe we'll see some of that, because I think that the special agent still has to take the stand again.
You remember the movie Get Him to the Greek?
Yeah.
That was really Diddy.
Yeah.
That was really him. There was somebody in Hollywood that really knew him and was like, yo, let's make
when art imitates life.
Let's poke fun at it.
Mm-hmm. But he did it.
So he really did have these drug mules. He really did have people that he was paying to go do crazy things with artists and yeah.
But it's like, I didn't really want to know these details.
I feel like it just keeps on coming because I know
Joseph Cerciello, that's a special agent.
Okay.
A special agent with Homeland Security Investigation.
Fat Joe is accused of forcing his former hype man to engage in thousands of intimate acts with women in a $20 million federal lawsuit that also alleges that he was underpaid, denied songwriting credits, he was threatened when asking for them. He goes by the name Terrence T.A. Dixon, filed this complaint against Fat Joe. Just alludes to having done these types of acts with minors. He was a creative collaborator. He's saying that he wrote or co-wrote on No Problems, Congratulations, Blackout, Ice Cream. None of these songs necessarily come to my mind whatsoever. Yeah, so I see that he's kind of, I don't know if it's pain and suffering might be the lane that he's in there.
Yeah, they had originally filed a lawsuit against Dixon back in April, accusing him of extortion, defamation, and slander. So this is kind of like the countersuit to that.
Hey, to the spoils goes the victor. I mean, I don't know what that says for Fat Joe. If anybody wants to follow up on these claims and be, hey, I'm 30 something now, but I was that 15. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're saying now one of the girls is married to a professional athlete. They were saying that Fat Joe paid for a 15-year-old's BBL.
I did see that. I don't know if there was any truth to that because, like, someone's got to come say, hey, this is me.
Well, and they're saying that he paid for the one girl's cell phone. So I'm assuming that these are obviously, if you pay for somebody's BBL, that if these things are true, then there's obviously going to be evidence of this happening. So it would be provable. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just hate to keep seeing these people that we always deemed icons just turn out to be these styles.
They're going down one by one.
We haven't heard nothing about this Shannon Sharp thing whatsoever. As soon as the Diddy trial started, it was over. But I want to make sure I don't leave nothing off. Had a fire interview yesterday. I actually linked up with Javon to the M. Shout out to him. He got a tape drop in Oklahoma, North Dakota, all of the. He's traveling everywhere on that tape. And we had a good conversation talking about the journey he's taken, no pun intended.
Exciting. We have some exciting interviews coming up that we
I know we definitely got some
that we can't reveal until they.
And I wouldn't want to because I feel like the way our cancellations have been going.
Well, I never announced my victory so people can celebrate my downfall. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to. I don't like to do that, but yeah, we got some heat coming.
For sure. Oh, and we spoke about Jim Jones, but we didn't make any mention of Summer Jam.
Yeah.
I felt like
I have it on my list.
The only news whatsoever that we heard about Summer Jam was that Zeddy Will killed it.
Yep. And the rest was boring.
And that Jim Jones set got cut short and he was pissed.
I heard that Ja Rule set was good.
I didn't hear nothing about it.
I heard that Ja Rule set was good, and I heard the rest of it was. They said it was like 3 hours of a snooze fest.
I believe it.
Yes.
When I saw those artists, like, not that anybody's like horrible artists, but all of these artists are your usual suspects for New York City shows. So let's say an artist comes to town and performs here in New York City. The same people we saw at Hot 97 Summer Jam are the same artists that we would see open up or come out during that artist set since they came to New York. So
yeah, I don't know. Summer Jam, I feel like, is on life support, which I think is a shame. I really want them to figure it out because it's a huge festival for New York. It's been around for a long, long time. It used to be the event of the year to go to. And I think not what hurt it, because I'm not going to say that. It's not what hurt it. But I remember like going to the stadium and tailgating the morning, and like you can't do that at the new venues that it's at, right? So that takes away from part of the culture. And then you have these lineups that are, it's like kind of like a weird mix of old and new. So you're gonna have, 50% of the audience at any given time is gonna be annoyed by what's playing. I get why they do that, and it's not a bad thing because it works at other festivals, right? So like, I get what they're trying to do, and I just don't know what the disconnect is there. But I really hope that they can figure out whatever the issue is, whatever the disconnect is with the audience, and get it moving, because it is such a great thing that we do have here in this area.
So I had a quick question. Let me know what you think. Do you feel festivals may have played a role in Summer Jam and things like it not being as big? The fact that you could probably see better artists for not too much price difference at a probably more lit event.
Like going to Governor's Ball instead of Summer Jam?
Yeah. Any type of festival you could really go to, like
a Roots Picnic instead of Summer Jam. And
Roots Picnic gonna have something for everybody.
Yeah, and Roots
Might
Picnic
be a
isn't
little
that far.
but
It's not that far, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna travel to Prudential Center, like you could go to.
What's the one that Jay-Z does? That's Governor's Ball.
Is that
Made in America?
Made in America.
There you go. But yeah, for you to be able to go and see not just your regional artists, just your tri-state artists, to go and see like all of your favorite artists, the hottest names. But the thing about Summer Jam that made it Summer Jam was that it was regional artists. It was a New York thing, and the special guests is what made it special. And you knew there was going to be special guests, and it was going to be super lit. And there's a lot of cultural moments that came out of Summer Jam, and it was something that year after year that happened. And the thing that you don't get at a lot of the other festivals is like the Caribbean moments that Summer Jam does have with the Afro beats and the dance hall and stuff. Not very
So, and a lot of the song of the summer that does get played around here is the dance hall, is the Afro beats. So taking that into account, like, no, you can't go elsewhere and get some of those things. So it is its own thing, its own moment. And if we don't have it anymore, we're gonna miss it for sure. Did other festivals take away from it? And maybe I think maybe some of it is just the generational divide that's happening in hip hop now. I think it's an older festival. You got to remember, it's been around since the early 90s. Like sometimes things just get played out, and it's like, man, Summer Jam's been happening for 20 some years. Like maybe it's just run its course. You know what I mean?
And it may have.
Absolutely.
Radio in itself isn't as big as it used to be. So the festivals radio puts together, I'm sure just has to follow suit.
Yeah.
Before we because we only have a few minutes left, I do got a question, right? I want to see what your take is. Country as a genre has now put it at awards where there is contemporary country music and there is, I don't know what you want to call it, new age country music. Let's call it that. We talked about the list. We talk about Summer Jam. Do you think maybe we need to separate contemporary hip hop, quote unquote, with new age hip hop? I don't know what we would call these things.
Like to give it subgenres? I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, because
Like that was like where the argument came, like when melodic hip hop came, when, you know what I mean? Like does it hurt to have subgenres? Like, no, I think hip hop has evolved. It's
a Slick Rick album just came out 2 weeks ago. Do we think that should be belonging and competing with a Cardi B album when it drops?
No, of course not. It doesn't make sense.
So I think maybe we should probably separate these things. I don't know if even a clip single should be battling it out with
a Zeddy Will.
With the new Zeddy Will.
Yeah.
No, and that's facts. Like,
no, and it's not fair to a Clips track, and it's not fair to a Zeddy Will track for them to have to battle it out when they're two completely different, really, genres of hip hop.
And there you have it. There's been another one in the books, another 10 p.m., another Monday night. Rapz, Erin Boogie here.
Good night, y'all.